देवी पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे, सुर नर मुनि सब हो ही सुखारे। माता पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे, सुर नर मुनि सब हो ही सुखारे। देवी पूजी पद कमल तुम्हारे, सुर नर मुनि सब हो ही सुखारे।
Jai Ma, Jai Babaji. We are listening to the beautiful stories of the life of Shri Baba Bhoothnath ji. You have heard in the previous videos how he went on his journey and how he got the darshan of Ma Kamakhya. And after that, Ma Kamakhya told him to go and serve everybody, all the needy, the poor, and help them. And Babaji then left the Kamakhya Dham and he moved forward. On his journey, he was going to Brahmaputra, and you have also heard how he met this group of fishermen around the Brahmaputra river, and one of the daughters of one of the fishermen had died, and how Babaji chanted the Kamakhya mantra. It was all miraculous how it all happened, and that girl, the dead girl, became alive. We heard about all those stories, and then he went on his journey further. We ended up with that one temple in Guhai, where there were no human population on the hilltop, and Babaji witnessed elephants coming with waters and with flowers and fruits, and they are worshipping the deity alone, in the temple. So Babaji was very happy seeing that. And we heard about all those incredible stories on his journey. Now we will move forward. Today I'm going to tell you one more incredible story. When I read, I get goosebumps. And the more you read, I'm not even able to express it the way it was. We can only imagine all this journey he is doing on his feet. And the entire path is full of dense forests and animals and less of population. Even if the population is there, it's only tribal hilly regions. So it's kind of isolated. And he is like a Baba, and with all long matted hair and with hardly any cloth on himself, and he's walking barefoot. So you can imagine the tedious journey that he has undergone, the tedious tapasya that he has undergone, the austerities that he has undergone as a sadhu, as a wandering monk, traveling alone to all these mountainous regions, hilly regions, is not easy, and that too barefoot at many times. And many days he would go without food and without water because it's not available everywhere. So many days he would be sitting in jungles in the night and meditating the whole night with all kinds of wild animals around. But he had that faith in Ma Kamakhya. With that one faith that Ma Kamakhya is protecting me everywhere, he could undergo this tedious, arduous journey. And he did that. For us, we live in this life, we live in nice homes with all facilities. Yet, how many reasons we have to not do our sadhana, to not do our meditation, to not be able to remember God. But here, when I meditate, when I contemplate on the life of Baba Bhoothnath ji, I am like, with all the difficulties, he never backtracked. He never said, I'm going to leave everything now, going back to my mother's place. No, his mother was only Ma Kamakhya, and Ma Kamakhya is told to help, so he is ready to help. That kind of feeling. There is so much to learn, so much to be inspired. And he really inspired me in my growing years, because he and my father both. Because whenever I used to sit in sadhana, if my mind ever gave me a reason oh, your body is aching. It happens. 45 minutes you sit and your body is like starting to aching. You're like, oh, I'm done. I don't want to do anymore. And you want to just get up, take the remote and start the TV. In my formation years, younger years, I used to immediately remember Babaji. Well, he is going to the jungle. He sat down there. I am so blessed. I don't have to go to the jungle. I can just sit at my home. All I have to do is chant. All I have to do is the sadhana. All I have to do is experience that bliss. If Babaji can do it, I can do it. If my father can do it, I can do it. That's why he has been always very inspiring for me. Very, very inspiring for me. Any time if my mind would say, don't do your sadhana, I would immediately think of him. He did it. I can do it too. That's how the inspiration worked for me. And the same inspiration, I'm trying to share it with everybody who is on the path of sadhana, who want to be on the spiritual path. Let all difficulties come in your life. No matter how many difficulties are onto you. Still take out time to remember God. There is no reason why you cannot remember God, why you can't do your sadhana, why you can't do your chanting. Your problems of life are so big. No, they are not. Nothing is bigger than God. Nothing is bigger than your search for God. Paramahansa Yogananda used to say, everything else can wait, but your search for God cannot wait. And that we see in Paramahansa Yogananda, that same thing I have read and felt in the life of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and the same thing I feel it in the life of Baba Bhoothnath ji. Following a guru is not just putting a lamp and an incense in front of his picture. Following a guru is to follow the example that he has set in his life, the determination that he has practiced. And after all that determination and after having all that darshan, the way he is going out to do paropkar means social welfare. That is what we have to imbibe into ourselves. Hearing these stories, the purpose of these stories is to inspire everybody to not to get discouraged ever in your path of sadhana. Please do. If you ever get discouraged, come and listen to these videos again. See what Babaji did. Hold his hands, remember him, cry in front of him. And I'm telling you, Babaji will be there. Even while you're sleeping, he will wake you up and he'll make you do the sadhana. I know that. That's the whole thing. So I am taking this time out to share all these beautiful stories about Baba Bhoothnath ji. Now this story that I'm going to share, I got goosebumps. So Babaji left Gohai, the temple, the hilltop temple, and he moved. He wanted to go to Kailash Shikhar. As I told you, this entire journey is on the India-Nepal border and Kailash is towards that side only. So he decided to go to Kailash Shikhar, and it was a very, very foggy day, and early morning he left because mountainous area is very foggy, cold, and he left. He kept walking, and then he arrived at a small tribal village of Misami people. Those tribal are called Misami. So he arrived at that small tribal village, and the head of the village was Chando Babu. This small little village was called as Navala village. In that little village, Chando Babu was the head of the village, and when Chando Babu saw Baba Bhoothnath ji's very attractive personality, and obviously he was miraculous, and who can miss him? Chando Babu invited him to stay at his home. Babaji agreed to his invitation and stayed for 3 days there. After 3 days, he blessed everybody. There, as usual, satsang happened. Everybody was blessed, and then Babaji left further. Babaji left, and then the next day, Babaji walked for around 18 miles. And walking that long, he was very hungry, but there was no food available in the jungles. He was thirsty also. It was very difficult, but then he kept walking, and the whole day he walked, and then the sun set. It became darker. So Babaji said, no worries, I'll just sit here and I will meditate in the jungle. So in the jungle, he just lit his Agni, the fire, and then he sat down there, he warmed himself up. Probably he gathered some leaves or fruits on the way, and that is what he ate. And he's decided, I will meditate here tonight, and then I will move on my further journey. So in the night, he just sits down in meditation. It's pitch dark in the jungle, and all you can hear is the sound of animals or the wind blowing, howling winds. And when the wind blows, you can hear the sound of the leaves, or sometimes you can hear the sound of the snakes. Sometimes you hear the sound of an owl. Sometimes you are hearing the sound of wolves from far off. So in this kind of jungle, Babaji sits and he says, this is an isolated forest. He sits and says, I am in the protection of Mother Kamakhya and I have to do my sadhana. Ma Kamakhya will protect me. With that faith, he sits down to meditate. And he got into deep samadhi at around 3 a.m. He hears big roar. Babaji opens his eyes and he sees that he's surrounded by a bunch of lions. An entire pride of lion was there. And then Babaji opens his eyes. He does not know what to do. He started praying to Kamakhya, but at the same time, one of the lions, it came near Babaji and attacked on Babaji. Babaji was sitting in samadhi, so he could not just get up immediately because his body was numb. When in samadhi, that's what happens. His body was numb. He could not get up immediately. And the lion just came near him and attacked. He was in a sitting posture. So Babaji, he attacked on the shin, the calf, and the lion at that time roared so loudly, attacked on his calf and the shin area and bit that flesh and took the flesh, and the others were about to attack and Babaji didn't know. He started shouting, Ma Kamakhya, Ma Kamakhya, Ma Kamakhya, Ma Kamakhya, protect me, Ma Kamakhya, Ma Kamakhya. When he started making that noise, slowly the lions stopped and then they started retracting back. Babaji was sitting for a long time, stunned, and then he's looking at his shin and calf area and the flesh was already gone. After some time, his body became normal. He got up, he collected some leaves and wrapped it around his wound, just like we wrap band-aid. So the leaves were the band-aid, right, for him. He wrapped it around and then he got up and he started walking. From there, it was morning and he kept walking, but he was in so much pain. Still, he kept chanting Ma's name, kept walking, and then in the evening, he decided to sit down at one place. And throughout the day, he was like, Ma, I am in real pain. Can you just help? Give me some remedy. Send some help here in the isolated forest. And the forest there's nobody around except for him and Ma. So that evening, now here comes the beautiful part. That evening, Babaji sits down in pain and his wound covered with the leaves. He removed the leaves and he didn't know what to do, how to this, but he just sat down there and kept crying, Ma, 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 and then he slept with that pain and crying Mama. After he was in deep sleep, he felt as if somebody has come and somebody is caressing. It's like, touching that area where he was hurt, and he could feel a light hand going on the wound, caressing, massaging or touching. Babaji was in deep sleep, but he was just liking that massage of a mother, kind of, when we are sick, if somebody comes and just touches us and gives us that little care, how good we feel. We just want to be lying in that situation. We don't want to come out of that moment. So same with Babaji. He's lying in that moment, he's asleep, he's tired, and he's feeling that somebody is just caressing him and then taking care and massaging his area, the calf area. He couldn't open his eyes, and after some time he went into deeper sleep and he forgot what happened. In the morning he got up. He opened his eyes and he remembered, in the night I felt as if somebody was touching my calf and my shin. And then he looks at his calf and shin, and then he sees that the wound had completely healed. All there that was left was just a mark. That's it. So the entire night he was in pain, But it seems he was so much crying Ma Kamakhya, Ma Kamakhya, Ma Kamakhya, and mostly Ma Kamakhya came and then healed him completely. At that moment, he was full of tears, thanking Ma, so grateful. And whenever Babaji quoted this incident, when Babaji was alive, people have seen that mark in his feet. It's a proof of mother's compassion. Even if her child is living in an isolated forest, hungry, thirsty, bit by a lion, but that child who surrenders to Ma definitely comes and helps that child. Ma definitely comes and helps that sadhu and that sadhak. This is so inspiring. Ma is so gracious and so compassionate. Babaji used to tell this story to inspire everybody. I hope those who have listened to the story, moving forward, we feel that compassion of Ma in our lives too. There has to be no complaints. Whatever situations we are in, it is not worse than this story that we heard today. Lions biting somebody. You are not in that situation at all. You are at your homes. Maybe there is some ups and downs in life, but pray sincerely to Baba Bhoothnath ji, and pray sincerely to Ma. And Ma Kamakhya will always be there. She has said she will always be there for all her children who cry to her from their heart for help. Jai Ma, Jai Baba Bhoothnath. There are other interesting stories, so please keep listening. Every story is very inspiring. He'll be going to Kailash Shikhar. There are beautiful stories there too, and then his journey further. So please keep listening. Few more videos will be coming up in the future. Jai Ma, Jai Kamakhya, Jai Baba Bhoothnath.